In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the outer tie rods on this Honda Civic. If you need these or any other parts for your car, check us out at oneauto.com. Let's get started. Let's remove the wheel. Use a 19mm socket and take off all 5 lug nuts so you can pull the hubcap and the wheel off. Take this off. If you don't have a hubcap and a steel wheel, it'll just be an aluminum rim. And take the wheel off. With the wheel off, we have much better access to do everything, and we have to separate the outer from the inner tie rod. To do that, there's a jam nut that locks them together, so let's loosen that up. Use a 24mm wrench and break this free. This broke free very nicely. A lot of times they are stuck and they require some persuasion with a hammer or some heat. Also, sometimes they get stuck on the inner tie rod. This one spins freely and independently of the inner, so that's great. If they are stuck on the inner tie rod, that's not a big deal. You'll just have to hold it with locking pliers if you need to move this independently. On the outer tie rod, you'll see that there's a cotter pin holding the mounting nut secure. This one is disintegrating, so it might be a little tricky taking this out the nice way, but a lot of times if it doesn't come out the right way, you can just cut it and hammer a socket right over. Hopefully yours comes out. For me, I'm just going to put a 19mm socket right over it with an air impact, and that should take everything right off. It is already sprayed with rust penetrant. That should help. There it is. Now you'll want to take a hammer, tap the knuckle till the tie rod pops out. There it is. Now you want to count the amount of turns it takes to remove the outer tie rod from the inner so that when you put it back, you can get it close to being the same. Now you still need an alignment after this job is done, but this will at least make it so your tires are somewhat parallel to each other and not completely out of spec. Took 12 turns for me, but of course it's not going to be the same for you, so whatever number you got, memorize it. Take the outer tie rod and thread it on the same amount of turns that it took to take it off. All right, that's it right here. Bring it down and into the knuckle. Install the castle nut. This new mounting nut is an 18mm. Snug it up, and then we'll torque it. .40 foot-pounds is the torque for this mounting nut. That's it right there. The castle nut slots have to line up with the cotter pin. In this situation, the cotter pin is actually slightly above those slots, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But if yours are in the way of the cotter pin going through, continue tightening and not loosening to line these up. Put the cotter pin through, and to correctly lock it in, you're going to want to bend it over. Make sure that after it's bent, it's not in the way of anything, and I like to leave a little bit of wiggle room on it so it doesn't get stuck in there in the future. Let's tighten up the jam nut so it can lock the inner and outer tie rods together. Snug it up, give it about 1/8 of a turn after it bottoms out. The rest will be up to your alignment professional since they have to loosen this up anyway to do the alignment. There we go, so just do your best and make it nice and snug, and then I like to bring this back a little so the tie rod end is sitting nice and parallel with the knuckle and not at an angle. Let's get the wheel back on. If yours had hubcaps, make sure you line up the little cutout with the valve stem when you install the hubcap. Press that on. Put back all 5 of your lug nuts, snug them up in a cross pattern, and also in a cross pattern, torque them to 79 foot-pounds. Once again, the torque for these is 79 foot-pounds. Double check them. And there you have it. Take it for a road test, and don't forget to get an alignment. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have anything to say, leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you can stay up to date with all of our latest content. Thanks for watching.